All right. Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Fate, where we will be playing the Dresden Files RPG here on Variant Roles. I will be your game master for this evening. I am Adam J. Pearson, and I have joined by our lovely crew as always. Unfortunately, due to travel things, Chaotic Rogue / Natalie will not be able to join us this evening, but she is here in our heart. And hopefully she will be back very quickly, very soon next week. And hopefully all of these people are still alive and she can have her friends back. We'll see. So without further ado, let me have my players introduce themselves, starting with Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach. I use he, him pronouns. I can be found on Twitter at Sir Gorals, and I am playing the definitely not super stressed out about all of this Fae stuff. Andy Spells, also Anderson Wells, who
And
also uses.
I forgot. Trouble this time.
Okay,
What's your trouble?
got it. Andy uses he, him pronouns also, and his trouble is that he cares too much.
What a great trouble. I mean, moving on to Danielle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character Harmony Ward, who is also a wizard, just like Andy. And Harmony's trouble is that she is desperate for family.
Very cool. All right, moving right along to Nick.
Hello, I am Nick. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Percy, who is haunted by his past. Quite literally.
Yes, he is. such a good trouble. Moving right along to Selena.
Hi, I'm Selena. I use she, her pronouns. So does my character Nikki, who is the black wolf of the pack.
Indeed, which may or may not come up this evening. Who knows?
Probably. We'll see.
Oh, good.
At last, but certainly not least, CJ.
Hi, I'm CJ Hunter, or Commander Pulsar on Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff. I use he, him pronouns, as does Cole Trickle, my character, who is running from his past. And not fast enough because they caught up with us 2 weeks ago, but it is that's what the fate points are for.
Yep. Awesome. Very great troubles. Last week we heard about our high concepts now with the troubles, and we will see where we go from here. So last week we found out that we had a little bit of technical difficulty, and honestly, it wouldn't really be streaming if there wasn't some kind of technical snafu. And as such, the second half, and not really half, but the second part of the stream had no sound. The OBS was saying green light, sound was coming through. We all forgot to check the sound quality, and there was no sound. So to try and give you all the gist, if you're watching us on VOD, of what happened, or you were trying to listen to what was happening and you were just like, why the hell are these people streaming without sound? These people are weird. The group managed to successfully infiltrate is not the right word, but eventually shut down a White Court safe house, or seemingly safe house, some kind of den of White Court / human iniquity. And they gathered a bunch of information and a bunch of intelligence, were left with a bunch of questions, and decided to move the party back to Anderson Wells' house. Anderson Wells' house is able to sustain wizards, and there won't be blowing out any sockets or technological devices, and it had the added benefit of being private, because they were about to talk about a bunch of stuff that they maybe shouldn't be talking about in public. So they proceeded to sit down, and unfortunately for Natalie and Kasara, she made a bunch of bad deception rolls, despite deception being one of her very, very strong skills. And the party noticed something was up. She was holding back something. She wasn't telling them everything. And so with the egging on of Nikki, who already knew her secret, Kasara confessed to the whole group that she was, in fact, a White Court vampire. And they talked a little bit about why that was, what was going on. Like, she noticed that some of the soul of the humans was missing, and Kasara knew that that meant that the White Court vampire had been feeding on them. And so the group confronted this essentially person who had lied to them originally, told them that I'm just a normal human. You don't have to worry about me. When in fact, she was very much not a normal human. And so we had our second soul gaze, because the first soul gaze happened prior in the fight, where I gave Danielle / Harmony a fate point for an inadvertent soul gaze. And so the two soul gaze each other. Andy Wells soul gazed Kasara, and Kasara, as part of the soul gaze feature, got to see Andy Wells. And so they looked upon each other's souls and saw some rather interesting things. Of note, Anderson Wells is a man of two men, a man of two men, one who is pretty confident and knows what they are doing, and one that has seen some shit and is perhaps a little beaten down by seeing that. However, Kasara also saw something looming, something dark and ominous and quite amorphous looming in Andy's background. Not really sure what that was. And neither is Andy.
Great.
For Andy's side of it, when he looked upon Kasara, he saw a woman trying to do good work, sitting in a therapist lounge, was trying to help people, but he also saw a mirror. And inside of that mirror was a beast, a demon, of a colorless, kind of black and white reflection of the Kasara in front of him, full of life. And as Andy was looking upon this reflection and looking upon this still frame in front of him, he noticed two things. One, there was some kind of necklace with an unidentifiable sigil, basically a necklace draped around Kasara's neck that seemed to be glowing with an unnaturally bright warmth. Not a hostile warmth, but a welcoming, pleasant warmth almost. And before Andy could spend too much time kind of thinking about that, the figure, this demonic kind of twisted version of Kasara, lunged at the mirror and kind of banged on it, and it kind of was the end of the soul gaze as Andy kind of snapped out of it. From there, the group as a whole kind of showed their cards to everyone, if you will, in a very, we're all a gang now, maybe we should be a little bit honest with each other and bond. And they started dissecting this mystery of strange fey creatures, which were likely malks, being trapped inside of dog cages, wire dog cages. That means that they were being trapped by cold iron. And some reason the Winter Fae the Winter Court was doing something to Winter Fae, which made everyone uneasy, especially the resident changeling, who is kind of caught in between summer and winter right now, and has not made his official choice. So he's still a changeling. He's not decided one way or the other, and we'll see where that goes. And so from here, now that you're mostly caught up with what was going on, we will say that you all adjourned for the evening, kind of went your separate ways, reflecting, dissecting, discerning, maybe journaling, however your characters would essentially, maybe hitting the bar, re-equilibrate yourselves, and I will throw it up to the group. What is something you would like to do? Because fate is player driven. So what is the next thing you all would like to try and do?
Is this while we're still separated?
So we can so time is a little amorphous. So you can say you want to do something and set up something. So if you just want to be like, I have called Uncle Garg and I want to make a meeting, or if you want to be like, I would like to go to Uncle Garg, and then we can throw it up. Does anyone want to go with Selena or excuse me, with Nikki? And then if not, then we have a solo scene with Nikki who goes and sees Uncle Garg. Or whatever.
I would definitely say I would like to do that, but if anybody else wants to go first, that's also an option.
Well, I have a suggestion as well. So I gathered some of the blood of the White Court vampire. And I know with a lot of things, Dawn is very important that magic kind of, it loses some of its potency. So I'm thinking we probably have to, if we want to use this blood to try to track down where that White Court vampire went, we probably have to do it before dawn.
Okay, so you all want to midnight run, maybe just like see where the White Court vampire ran to, and then maybe not act on that, but all right. So that definitely sounds like some thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
And where are you going to do this thaumaturgy?
Well, I presume I have a lab of some kind.
Okay. In your the duplex that you live in?
Yes, in my half of the duplex. But I would probably invite Andy to come like supervise just in case I like terribly screw something up.
Okay. That's fair. So you definitely, so the effect you want is essentially tracking. And so we'll say that the complexity of that is I unfortunately have to set the complexity at great. So that's a +4 level task. So what that means for you is that's essentially the level you got to hit. And so for you,
my conviction is superb, so
yep,
that will help.
Which means definitely will help. So,
is there any way for me to assist her mechanically?
I will say that you can add to her ability to essentially gather the construct and kind of make the construct happen. So you will essentially help with you won't be like invoking an aspect, but it'll be like you'll basically add a +1 to when she rolls to, because she has to gather the power and then let the spell go, and that technically has a roll associated with it. So when she lets the spell go, you can add the +1.
Okay.
So how much power do you want to bring to bear?
Well, if I have to reach a 4, I feel like I need to put at least 4, if not 5, into this.
Can you spend more points of power to extend the duration? Is that a thing? Or does that make the thing more complex? There's going to be a...
So that would be the discipline roll. That's the other way. So when she controls the spell, if she gets shifts, then that can go into controlling and keeping it go longer, or maybe more precise. Like instead of a needle in a water cup, it's actually like this weird glowing spirit that leads her. Something like, depending on what the shifts are.
I'll probably just do 4 out of my conviction, just because this is I'm gonna need the discipline roll, and I don't think I'm gonna have, like, I haven't finished finalizing my focus items, but I don't think I'm gonna have anything that specifically would apply to this. So
okay. So yes, you can help, and then I believe.
So should I go ahead and roll my conviction?
Just making sure it's yes, +1. Yes. So you don't roll conviction, you roll discipline.
Discipline. Okay.
So basically, what you're looking for is to beat 4.
Okay.
But she's up 1 on the roll, right? Because of me.
And she's up 1. She's got a +1 on the roll because of Andy.
Mhm.
Woo! Nailed
Oh.
it.
So for those
Epic.
watching at home,
Nice.
Harmony needed to roll a 4. She rolls a 7, which means she has 2 shifts.
Plus my one from Andy.
Plus 1, so that's 8. Holy
Nice.
crap.
Nice job,
Harmony. Wow. So that's an 8. So that's you succeed with style is actually what that's called.
Mhm.
Nice. So wow. So this thing works super well. How do you envision Harmony casting like this tracking spell? What is your method? I know Dresden likes to use essentially a little diviner rod / little compass needle that kind of points, and one time he used a duck and all that good stuff. But like, what is Harmony's method?
So Harmony is I like the dowsing rod, but Harmony's probably not doing it with like a proper dowsing rod. I think she probably has like a crystal pendant or something like that she sort of smears the blood over and then dangles it. What do they call it? Like a plumb line, I think is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And lets it move in accordance with like where she needs to go.
Okay. And absolutely. And in fact, because you succeeded with style, it not only like moves in it, like the thing points and like moves independent of itself, and it just kind of and it actually kind of moves down and up almost as if indicating elevation. Like you've almost got a 3D tracking spell going on because you succeeded with style, so you get whatever you want. Not whatever you want, but like you succeeded really, really well on this roll. That was a killer roll. And so, for the sake of because you don't want to confront them, we will say that your spell lasts way long enough that you are able to be led to a small area. Let's make sure I'm saying the right area. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I believe it is in the west end. Let me pull up the map.
Cole's got an idea. If it's a plumb bob like that, hang on, and he just kind of hangs it from the rear view of the car, and just follows it.
Definitely work.
This is my version of the plushy dice.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Harmony, this is some really great spellcraft here.
Thank you.
So it's
What?
just about in the west end, but it's still a little bit. So for those, so for y'all, it's kind of, and I can add a circle. It's basically there is a It's like right
Nice.
about here.
Okay.
Sure.
There is a old Victorian mansion that you all know serves as normally a museum, but the plum brings you there.
Hell yeah.
Well, that tracks.
Yeah, great.
Oh,
Good spell, Harmony. That's useful information, not the answer I wanted.
and I will say this as a reminder, since it's been a week. Sometimes our brains get a little scrambled. You all did well. Andy and Harmony have both seen this dude's face, like straight up. White court vampires do not vamp out, right? Their eyes kind of change color and their skin gets a little like whiter or silvery sheen to it, but they don't. Their facial expressions don't, and their like structure doesn't really change. So you could absolutely pick this person out of a lineup. So now that you know where they went to ground, if you set like a watch, you could most likely see them again. So it's not like a red court vampire where when they go bat form, and if they're running away, like you have no idea what their skin suit looks like. No. White courts look like white courts look like white courts. Like they can't change their features very well.
I would imagine that during the night while we were all having our decompression, get to know you thing, that at some point one of us would have explained like this is what he looks like, if as to the what degree that we could.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely give a description. Tallish, black hair, very sharp features, almost emaciatedly sharp, like not sexy sharp features. It was almost like he was starving sharp. Not really sure what that means for a white court vampire, but yeah, very very thin, kind of gangly. He definitely does not look like he can shoulder his way through a weird boulder block spell that he did. Like he looks like a very stereotypical weak, thin, kind of gangly person, and yet you know what he is on the inside, and he shattered Harmony's spell, which you were very shocked to see.
Great.
If we're going to stake this place out, can we just go ahead and say we're going to stake this place out and not just drive around the block and then let me know we're staking the place out afterwards?
I mean, I think we probably should.
Okay. There's some subtle things. There's different vehicles we'll bring to this, not one that stands out on the street.
Yeah, I mean, we can go get another car.
Different places to park.
We may not want to do this tonight, or at least not all of us be here. I don't know about you, Harmony, but I could stand with a little bit of rest after yesterday.
There's some people I need to call immediately.
Okay, well, what if we go, we all get a good night of sleep, and then we come back here in the morning?
I mean,
wait, are all of us there? I assumed it was just the three of you.
I don't have any. I guess that's up to you guys.
I mean, I'd be there in the car. I mean, rest is good. I'm just saying that we plan the crime next time is all. All I ask.
I was thinking I probably drove Cass home.
Yeah,
because I'm the only one that had I drove to where you guys were, but you guys kind of all carpooled almost. At least in my head, that's what I imagined. So that's where I'm at headwise. So I'm not there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely makes sense. Yeah. So we'll say that it's Harmony, Cole, and Andy for the time being, and that you are making perhaps a plan for tomorrow's scene or the next couple scenes of trying to stake out the Victorian mansion.
We'll need to get a hold of Percy and Nikki too, to rope them into this. But Cole is the resident criminal. I'm happy to let you.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
I'm just saying, but you two, the only you've seen his face. I'm pretty sure y'all are the only one whose faces he's seen. So if you don't know the rest of us, it's a museum. We can just go in and take a tour.
I should probably not, because he got a soul gaze on me.
Fair. No, like I said, he knows your faces, but
Percy
and I can buy a pamphlet.
Taking a tour isn't a terrible idea.
Yeah, if you take a tour, Andy and I can watch the exits, and then if someone tries to leave, we can keep an eye out for.
Sure.
That's
why don't we call it a night for tonight, and then we can regroup tomorrow after everyone's had some rest. And try to call people.
That sounds good.
I've got some summer court, some winter court. I think Nikki knows somebody in the Wild Fae, so we should have those bases covered, because everybody's going to want to know that people are putting fair folk in cages.
Yeah, and they'll be super happy.
So happy. Trust me.
Be fine.
I'm just a changeling, and I'm thoroughly pleased.
Yeah, I'm sure you're thrilled. Okay.
Part of me doesn't want to tell him until we've solved the problem first. It's kind of, hi, we've got this problem here. That doesn't go over real well.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the other side of that is why didn't you say anything? And then we get jumped on for that. So you really can't win.
No, there's usually not with the courts.
It's just a matter of not losing too badly.
Any of the courts, right?
Yeah, let's focus on that. Not losing too badly.
I'm not looking forward to there's other ramifications for this too.
Yeah.
So not looking forward to any of it.
Hey.
I don't want the White Council involved either, if we can help that.
That's probably preferable.
Well, I mean, right now, so far as we know, there are not any wizards doing stuff. I mean,
think,
other than you two.
well, as long as no one's breaking any of the laws, they probably won't. But I think I would know probably if a wizard showed up. I'm keeping an eye on it. If they're good enough, they would get around it, unless they want me to know. And that's a whole other problem.
So either they're good enough that you wouldn't know, or they're good enough that they don't care if you know, or they're not good enough.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Pretty much.
Sure. So if we don't know about it, then it's even worse than okay.
Probably. I mean, you should be worried if I mentioned that they could have gotten around this and chose not to. That's not.
Yeah, no, that seems
great.
like the worst case scenario.
Depends on who it is.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm sure the White Council won't show up. They have no reason to be here.
Oh, that's a problem for tomorrow and for the future versions of ourselves.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yep.
That was like a straight up just line that the DM is like, so the White Council shows up.
Yeah, if I could cut to the airport
Right,
where the
past
wizards
it.
are coming off the plane, yeah.
But we will flip to Percy and Nikki. What are the two of you doing this evening? You don't have to do anything, but I don't want to not give you all a chance to figure out what you're doing.
I'd drop off Cass, basically tell her to keep an eye out for any big dogs and call me if anything shows up, just so I know if anybody's coming after her for a little bit. And then I would call and try to set up a meeting with Guard. Probably the next morning or next day.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get to Garg. That's gonna be fun. Okay, what about you, Percy?
First, when Harmony gets back home, there would be a note taped to her door that just says, "Can we talk, Percy?"
Okay.
And it doesn't. It's not really a scene, but it would be like a transitional type thing of just Percy walking, just kind of alone, but
reflecting, kind of digesting.
Yeah, that's what it looks like at first, but then like the scene comes a little bit more into focus, and Manny's behind him, just lecturing and laying into him for being reckless, and he's just taking it as he walks.
So being reckless for what exactly? For like just charging in and trying to confuse those goons, or what exactly is Manny's?
Trying to follow the White Court, trying to be bait for the White Court, just the last years in general, things that haven't even come up on, like just life.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, and so that's and Manny knows while you're walking, in public, you have a hard time answering him without looking like a crazy person. Though that might be why you have invested heavily in Bluetooths.
Yeah, I was going to say he does have a
Bluetooth in and like start yelling at him as if you're having a phone call with him. And so you use the Bluetooth to hide the fact that you're actually talking to your dead ex-husband who is haunting you.
Oh man.
So you make it to wherever you're staying for the evening, or maybe you walk all night. Did you have a particular time frame in which you wanted to talk to Harmony, or just whenevs?
It's just the note on her door, because they left and it seemed important. And Percy kind of got the hint of like, hey, we're leaving. And Nikki already left. And you should probably leave too, but we're too polite to, like, he was kind of getting that vibe. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, Harmony, when you come back from your stakeout / follow the bad guy, there is a note taped to your door that, Harmony, can we please talk, or whatever, Percy. So Percy at some point wants to talk to Harmony.
Okay. Do I have any means of contact? Like, did you leave any contact information, Percy?
Haha, no.
All right. So I take the note off my door and look at it and go,
Maybe he's in the phone book. So there is kind of looks like a three-way scene here. One scene of Cole going into the Victorian mansion for a tour. There's Uncle Garg. And then there's Percy eventually talking to Harmony. What are Andy and Harmony going to be doing? Are they going to be outside watching the museum? Or is Andy going somewhere else? Like, are you splitting the wizards, or are the two wizards going to sit in the car and watch whatever Cole gets up to? How are we doing this?
I feel like we should watch outside the museum and not go inside the museum.
Okay.
Unless someone asks Andy to do something else, then yeah, he.
But if there's a way we can give Cole some kind of like, everything's gone to hell, please come extract me.
The stream just went dark.
It went dark?
It's okay for me.
Oh, it's a network error on my end, maybe. I don't know. Sorry.
It's okay.
If there's some kind of like, please extract me now, things have gone to hell, device or mechanism or something that we can give to Cole, I feel like that would be.
I would imagine the signal that things have gone to crap would be me jumping out a window, but
Okay, that could be the signal too, if you wanted to be.
Cole out window. That means help.
I mean, I figured if it's possible, I'd try and get a hold of Percy. If I'm going into this ancient mansion where vampires live, maybe the guy who can see and talk to ghosts might be handy. Hey, Percy, you up for that? You want to take a tour of a museum?
Would our mental stress have cleared, by the way? Or?
Yes.
Oh, good.
After a scene is done, all your normals. Yeah. So mechanically, in Fate, when you end a scene, which we did, though technically when you refollowed that guy, the scene was still going on, so I didn't say anything. But yes, after the scene jumps to a new scene, your stress clears.
Okay.
Okay, that's nice.
The consequences stay around, but
the consequences stay around.
Sure.
And then, based on what kind of consequence they are, is how long they stay.
And I don't know how refresh really actually works.
So technically, if you don't have any fate points and you have a refresh, you have fate points because we're in a new session.
Okay. So it's session to session.
Yeah.
Okay.
You refresh up to your total
Gotcha.
refresh rate.
Okay.
Okay, and if I was given one, I just go back to my current my refresh though, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like, say you ended the last session with 3, you would not go down to 2. You'd stay at 3.
Okay.
I only had 1, so I will go to 2.
yeah.
Same thing for you, Andy. Or same thing for anyone. If you have more than your refresh, you don't lose fate points. You just don't refresh because you have enough.
I have
It
some.
probably means you should spend more.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a couple, so I need to find things to spend them on.
Okay, so Percy, you were asked if you wanted to go help Cole with his reconnoitering.
So I have the time frame correct. This is the next day.
This is the next day.
Okay. You're going to where that white court is? Do I have this correct?
We think so.
I don't think I should be the one there. He fed on me.
Wait, he's seen your face too. Well,
Yeah.
crap.
Harmony saved me from him.
That's right.
Well, dang. All right.
Very cool.
What about
I get-
what about Nikki?
Yeah. Well, I guess I better call her. We can maybe go from there to see Uncle Gar. I'll check in with her in with her in a second, I guess.
All right. Where are you right now?
We're getting ready to go over that way. I think Harmony and Andy and you have seen his face. We were going to have y'all kind of keep an eye on the outside of the building in case he tries to leave. And then the folks of us who he hasn't seen would, play tourist.
It sounds like a remarkably well thought out plan. I'll take the bus.
Why, thank you.
Be there soon.
All right.
I don't. It was like slightly it was like shocked condescension, slightly or something like. Oh shit, that sounds like actually a much better plan than the plan we had.
Well, the phone hangs up. Phone hangs up, and I'm wondering like, hardened criminal, good at crime. News at 11.
Look, Percy's been running solo for like 3 years, and it's not been good 3 years.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, it's funny. I love it.
Despite his ex-con status, Andy isn't actually a criminal or very good at crime.
Harmony was raised in a very well-off middle-class family, so crime is not a thing that she has any familiarity with whatsoever. Except for the part where she burned down things.
I got it covered for all of y'all. Don't worry about it.
Nikki, someone tries to call you, but my question to you is, have you already left for Uncle Garg, or are you reachable?
Huh. We didn't say exactly what time you guys decided to do this, right?
Yeah.
No, we'll say after
really.
breakfast, probably sometime morning.
I'd say I'm an early riser, so I probably would have already talked to Uncle Garg, or at least be somewhat wound down with that.
So you know that in order to talk to Uncle Garg, you have to go to Uncle Garg because he's a goblin. He doesn't actually have the phone.
Right, so I'd have
You'd have to drive up to where Uncle Garg's tribe lives, which is not an inconsiderate distance. So it's going to take you like half a day to get up there. So you can be out for this scene or you can be in for the scene. Basically, what I'm asking is you can be with them and you could go with Cole into the Victorian Museum undercover, or you could be already on your way to solo scene with Uncle Garg. Depends on whether or not. Essentially, depends on if you want to introduce your friends to Uncle Garg and his goblin tribe.
Your changeling friends who have summer and winter connections. I'm sure that won't go badly.
Or the wizards.
Oh shit. Okay. I guess Cole can reach me. Okay.
So yeah, you Nikki is able to come with you, and she is able to be essentially the other person inside in the building, so that Cole is not going in solo.
Just covering my bases so I'm not. Oh look, a vampire! Time to leave.
So the scene will be in the Victorian mansion. You all are there in one form or the other. We'll say that I won't draw a picture yet unless we need it, but that you all are essentially 2 zones away from the Victorian manor because you're trying to be stealthy and not just like parked outside and be like super unstealthy. And Cole would have parked the car, took the keys out, and like, you guys are staying here, and then walked away.
Handcuff them to the wheel. Now don't move.
And so I assume Nikki gets there probably their own way, maybe drives themselves there and meets Cole. And you go into the Victorian mansion, which is multiple zones because it's a mansion. It's literally a mansion. Mm-hmm. And as described on Google, because I've never been there, it is pretty nice. It's very ostentatious. It's very historical. And it's preserved in a manner that it's a 19th century Italian villa, and the inside is completely renovated and or not renovated, restored so that it looks like a 19th century Italian villa. And it's also a museum to the Victorian era of England, which is an interesting little tidbit and part of the reason why it's still here. And it has this marvelous architecture. It has this grand staircase. It just basically you come in the door and there's this marvelous staircase that is red carpeted and floral printing and kind of wraps around and goes upstairs to the 2nd floor, which then go actually to a 3rd floor because there is like a turret / tower. And there's various dining rooms and ballrooms, and they actually, like any good museum, have featured collections that come into the museum at any one time, and people can come in and leave. And There's a smattering of tourists. It's a little early in the morning, and the fall season is like where the tourism starts kind of dwindling off as we're getting closer and closer and closer to the solstice or equinox, excuse me, not solstice. That's much later in the year. And so it's kind of getting close to the end of September, getting close to fall. And so not as many tourists because it's starting to get cold in Portland, like you all are used to, though the ocean does keep it a little bit warmer than where I live, the DM. So you're able to go inside, and there's like a little desk where you have to pay because you don't get to tour the mansion for free. And I don't have the price, so we'll just say because you have
a whole bunch of stolen money,
a whole bunch of stolen money. Yeah,
I will use the vampire's own funds to tour his house.
Perfect, and it's all traceable back. No, I'm just kidding. And so you're able to buy money and get the tour. And there's a very lovely woman who is like a tour guide, kind of. She is not leading tours. But she's kind of wandering through the house right now. The tour schedule is going to be coming up in a few hours, or excuse me, in a few minutes, like a half hour. Like every half hour, they do their tours. And this woman is relatively tall, very dark hair, put up in a nice bun. She seems to have a very business-like manner, but she seems friendly to anyone that wants to ask questions. Sure. And she occasionally will drift through the area as you're able to self-guidedly tour yourself. But if you have any questions or if you are curious about something, she isn't very far away in case you have questions or if you want to ask something about the actual manor itself.
How good are we at investigating things? I'm terrible.
I'm good. Specifically good.
How would it be funny if you both were terrible at investigating and you're the only two that could go inside?
Perfect. Well, I figure there's probably at least one point where I want to sneak off.
Interesting. So you were gonna try and sneak away?
So
maybe. Let's figure out. Let's take a tour. Let's take a once around and see what we can see. But I am specific.
Also, does our tour guide go for it? Sorry.
I was gonna specifically.
Before I started, go for it.
I was gonna specifically look for like basements and doors that aren't like labeled or anything like that kind of business.
That can be.
What I was going to ask is, our tour guide, does she seem very like? Does she have the trademarks of a White Court vampire, or is she legit just a human?
So you would know based on your pack's history. The White Court vampires are very hard to tell if they're a White Court vampire. She is a white woman, dark hair, and that tends to be the White Court's like characteristics. They tend to be dark-haired, whitish people, though not all of them. You know that the wraiths tend to have the dark hair thing going on, and the vampire yesterday was dark-haired and white, but could just be a dark-haired white person who is a tour guide.
Okay.
They're the sneakiest of the vampires because they don't smell like a vampire and they don't look like a vampire. Until they're being a vampire. Like it's when they're like doing their thing, then you're like, oh shit, vampire. Before that, the only people that can tell that they're a vampire are essentially fae. So like actual honest to goodness fae and she can tell.
Yeah, not this guy.
They can sense it in them because they can sense the demon that's inside of them. Demons can sense it because they can see the demons, and angels can sense it because they can see the demon. Essentially, if you can see the demon, you can tell that they're a vampire. But mortals and mortal adjacent people like you all are have a very hard time telling.
Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Yep.
Definitely going to put mortal adjacent on my business cards.
We're just as human as Kincaid.
Oh, man. So if I'm kind of looking at this place with an eye for, where would I keep a secret section of this building, would that be more burglary? Or if I'm looking for, I guess I'm kind of looking at the places of how would I break into it?
Yeah, I would say that's a casing infiltration-y kind of a role. So you're basically trying to make a scene.
Well, I'm hoping to discover aspects that are already there, but if I have to declare them, that we'll figure that out. But
you're basically trying to aspect discovery of the place. So why don't you roll a burglary?
I think we'll do. See if it'll go. Okay.
Congrats.
That's
all right. So
that's two very good rolls. That's two. Yeah, I rolled a +3 on a stat that I have +4 in for a total of 7.
My players are broken tonight.
Well, no, that's the last good one I'll get. The rest of them are...
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Where's some wood to knock on?
Okay, just real quick here. You have an alertness of 2. Okay. No reason why I'm looking up all of your alertnesses.
I have a very high alertness.
I bet there's not. Mine is
the highest as far as I know.
Very bad.
Perfect. All y'all in the car. Your alertnesses are perfect. I love it.
Oh no. Oh
great.
shit.
Great.
Twice now.
This is fine.
I would like to point out, if this is for initiative, I get +2 on it.
I know. So your +7 allows you to discover a few aspects about this Victorian mansion.
Sure.
You as a burglary person are able to quite easily notice. Let's see, what would be the aspect? The eye in the sky is always watching. So you notice that there are actually security cameras in the various rooms, especially in the rooms with the visiting collections. And there are multiple security cameras in those rooms that host collections so that they can be watched. So that makes you know that there is some kind of security presence on the premises that is not insignificant. So let's rewrite these scene aspects that I had. So not evil eye in the sky. We'll just call it eye in the sky.
Sure.
The other one you notice is some closed doors, meaning there are doors that seem to be closed and are closed to the public, like they're not permissible for people to enter. Whether or not they're watched not all of them have security cameras pointed at them, but you get the sense that some of them probably lead to that kind of back door, back room.
Is there kind of a consistent part of the house like this wing of the building is kind of off limits?
There's definitely one near the front of the building, which you assume might be like the office
and security room, probably.
Potentially offices, security rooms, but the security guards are very close to the front of the building so that they can come in and do whatever they need to do.
Business thing with the safe and all that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And you get the sense that there are a couple more. There's one, if you wander long enough, you find that there's one upstairs, so you can't actually go up into the turret where there is like a bell tower. You can't actually get up there.
Sure.
And then there is one in the back of the house, near the back of the house in one of the main areas. It's kind of off the kitchen. There is a closed door that leads off the kitchen to somewhere. You're not sure where because it doesn't come out anywhere else. So there's like some kind of, potentially it might have been at one time the guest/servant entrance.
Sure.
And they have since blocked it off to be something else that you're not sure what's going on. So there are some closed doors. There's an eye in the sky, and I will say the last aspect that you discover is that not many people here. So it's kind of empty right now. And you get the sense that only one tour guide is kind of weird. That it probably there should probably be more than one tour guide. And the fact that there isn't means that either they're very slow right now or something else is going on.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay. Yay.
Not scary at all.
No secret basement or anything, though. Okay, fine.
Not that you could see, but again,
That's right.
like I said, there are closed doors that you don't know what are behind those closed doors.
Sure.
So the basement could be located behind that closed door.
Well, that's yeah.
Yeah. So Nikki, what are you doing?
Okay. I don't know. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just looking around, like reading the plaques and like just learning about the house in general, just so that way, and like getting like a full layout of the place in case we need to come back and like say during the night for possible reasons. For reasons, I'm just like doing a full scope of the house, whereas he's doing more precise investigation. I'm doing like overall, like getting a layout of the house and kind of figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
And so what is your ultimate goal when you gather this information? Like, are you trying to understand like guard patrol like I'm not quite sure what else you are trying to achieve that Cole hasn't.
Yeah, maybe know where windows are. No, like basically know like the whole know more of the whole overall layout. Whereas he has more precise areas of where, like he knows where the cameras are and where doors that are closed are. Maybe just like a full more like blueprint of the house kind of thing. Knowing
what the collections are, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I will say that it's quite easy to know where the windows are. Like it's not. This isn't.
He kind of did everything, so I don't know what to do.
Well, fair. I mean, but if there's something else that you want to try to talk to the tour lady to figure, like, see if you can say about her. If you want to try and make a distraction so Cole can try to sneak away, like you guys can kind of have figured out what you're doing.
Because even if these doors are locked, I can do something about that. That's tempting.
Well, we haven't communicated a plan, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here trying to help you scope out.
I would say I'm always the fan of the player, so I will say that like you could have like had a brief like, all right, we're gonna get in, we're gonna case the joint, and Cole might have told you like, if you see an opportunity to make a distraction so that I can slip away.
Sure, I was mainly just didn't want to be in there all by myself in case I got it, but you know.
No, I gotcha. I feel you on that one, buddy. Yeah, I can make a distraction.
So how are you going to make a distraction? Well, other than like just shape shifting into a wolf, that seems like extreme. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a smart way to go about it.
Sure.
I say I go to like one of the more like high security areas, like where our collection is, and like trip and maybe knock something over. Draw attention to the guards.
Yeah. If you set off an alarm in one place.
Okay, I will allow it. You will have to roll deceit. You're faking this, but I will let your skill be modified by the fact that you have a pretty high athletic score. So you are able to very precisely knock into it. Not like your hand's not going to go through the case. Like you're actually going to bump it in a manner that is both safe for you and only triggers the alarm. It doesn't actually break anything, so you're not going to get like thrown out. So that means you will essentially get a +1 bonus because you are having a modified skill helping you.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
So now this is the time where you can either invoke aspects before you roll to try and get. Actually, no, you roll and then you invoke aspects. So thinking about aspects that you have and just keeping them like tucked in the back of your mind.
I'm looking at my stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, hell yeah! Okay, so I have a 3 plus 1, so that's a 4, and that's just a straight roll. And okay. I don't think I think the only one that would make sense is only comfortable in the wilderness is like my
nice. So it's clearly clumsy in the
yeah. I will definitely let that add a +2. So that's a fantastic lie. Yeah. So easy enough. So you spend the fate point, you invoke the aspect. Easy enough. You bump into it and you knock it pretty good. And you even see like you don't hear anything, and it's not like big and flashy, but because your alertness isn't, as you said, so high, you see the cameras actually all turn red. They were just dark circle, like the little dark domes. But then you see this like red light up inside of all of the camera domes inside of the room you're in. So now you know what the alarm looks like when it goes off, which you've also been able to assess. And very quickly, like a big burly dude comes in and a woman who's like, they like to be like wearing like a white security shirt, but you can clearly tell and this strikes you as weird. They're wearing bulletproof vests underneath their security shirts.
Oh shit!
And they come in with like the nightsticks on, like, "Ma'am, are you okay?"
Sorry about that. I leaned a little bit too close and tripped. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, and they kind of like the man helps you up, and then you see the woman kind of goes over to the case and looks and like checks like all where the locks are to make sure you haven't tried to pick the lock or anything. And then they're like, "Oh, well, we're sorry you tripped, man." And like they look at the carpet to make sure the carpet is in place, because this place has really nice old school throw carpets that are probably extremely expensive and way too fancy. And they like kind of like, "Are you okay? Or did you hurt yourself? Do you need to see the?"
No, we're fine. Just tripped. No big deal.
Oh, okay. And then like you see one of them look up into the camera and kind of like do one of these motions, and you see the little red lights go away in all of the cameras. And like, "Oh, well, please be careful. We're sorry for if anything caused you to trip. We don't want you to think bad. We hope you're okay. We hope you enjoy your museum tour." And they kind of like just get up and kind of move away, seemingly none the wiser that you totally did that on purpose. Meanwhile, outside.
Oh no! Fair enough.
Bunch of wizards and a haunted man are sitting in a car.
Is it taking them a long time? It feels like it's taking them a long time.
I don't know. I think that might just be the waiting.
Andy's the nervous waiter. Is it hot in here? Is anyone hot? Like, I'm really hot.
Oh my god. Never go on a stakeout with Andy. Noted.
Harmony is regretting her decision.
This is perfect.
I would probably be just like shooting quick texts to Percy, because I'm sure we all have each other's information.
I mean, he's around two
phone
wizards.
Is not in the car with two wizards.
True.
My phone is at another location, probably at my apartment.
Something that I have thought about throughout the week is like I would just continuously be buying burner phones. Like I don't have my actual phone on me. I just buy a bunch of burner phones, so that way when I'm around the wizards, I have something that is easily disposable.
Well, I thought of that now. I lost my phone last week.
So you all are watching the building, and you're doing a decent job. And yeah, it's just everyday traffic, people moving back and forth, and you're just kind of like, "Man, what is going on?" And like you're kind of like, you might all be caught up in your own heads of like, "Oh, good."
What if we get caught? What if there's more cages in the basement? We never know, and they never jump out of the window, and then we're just stuck.
Andy?
Yeah.
That's
Andy,
his inner monologue. He's not saying all of it.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I had this right. Okay. So Andy is just all up inside his head. He is just like, oh my god.
Cares too much.
Indeed, you do care too much. Percy and Harmony, you notice a very strange looking vehicle approach and pulls up in front of the house. And two individuals get out of the back of the car. They walk up the stairs and into the home.
Is that through a public entrance or a private entrance?
Through the main door.
Okay. I'll nudge Andy out of his internal worry monologue.
And now Andy, because it's pointed out to you, you also see this it doesn't look like an SUV. It looks like something else. It looks weird. You're not really sure what it is, but you now see that there are two people walking up the stairs into the mansion. Do any of you do anything?
Is there any kind of marking on the vehicle? Is there anything on the side of it?
Why don't you actually roll me an alertness roll?
Oh, good. I'm real good at these.
Could I take down the license plate?
Actually, why don't we shift it to investigation? And absolutely, Percy, that's easy to do.
Are you sure I can't roll alertness? Because I'm actually better at that. Investigation
it's more surveillance-y, kind of examination stuff is more investigation. So
if I have 0, then what do I roll?
You just roll 4 dice and see what happens.
You could ask your private investigator friend to help you.
Or you could be like, hey, Percy, do you notice anything about that weird?
Okay, yeah.
Strike you as odd.
That would be...
So Percy can throw an investigation instead, since Percy's the investigator.
Hey, Percy, I grew up in the 30s and all these cars look weird. So is there anything strange about that vehicle?
Percy finishes writing down the license plate and goes, hold on, let me look.
You guys are technically 2 zones away, so it's not like you're right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope.
So with a great investigation roll as a +5 and then a -1, you notice a couple things. The car has a weird shimmer to it. However, you also notice that there is this logo, and I have all of a sudden forgot the logo for this, so hang on a second. It looks like a boat sailing across the water with shields in the spot where the oars would be and a sail. You know this as Yara International.
Of course we do.
Oh, shit.
So I write down that, and Percy's new to Portland, has been in town for 2 weeks. So he kind of goes, Vikings? It's a Viking ship.
Yara. Yeah, it's Yara International.
Okay.
They're in trouble. Probably, maybe.
Or they're causing trouble.
Can you make a car shimmer?
I can't.
Veil? Glamour?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's Faye, right?
Yeah, it's run. Yara's run by Svardells. They're
what? They're run by smart elves.
So right at that moment, we transition back to Cole. What are you doing, Cole?
Oh, well, obviously with the distraction, I had 2 questions. One, did the security guards come out of the front room that I suspected was the security office? Okay, cool.
They did, in fact, come out of the front room.
Well, while that whole distraction is going on, I want to break into that door in the kitchen.
Fair enough.
Using some stealth and sneaking away. Is the door locked, I guess?
The door is locked. You also notice the door is not monitored by camera.
Thank goodness. So the lock-picking attempt, because I have Safecracker, will take place 2 steps time-wise faster than normal. So I'll have to make...
You will be able to make it in not an instant, but a few moments. It's just a few moments for you to, because it's normally probably about a minute, and you shift it twice, so that means it's a few moments.
Yeah, unless I roll really poorly. So I'll try that with a burglary roll. See if I can get... There we go. Okay, that's
all right.
That's a straight roll so that's a great result.
You just managed, like, you feel it, and it's like, so you're, oh shit, this lock is
serious
this
lock.
Is a serious lock, and like you get it, and you're like, okay, and so the door is unlocked.
As I mean, I have some points to throw, but I'm going to then kind of stealth through the door. I'm going to be as sneaky as possible, getting on the other side of this door. And I will use Cloak of Shadows if it's dark enough on the other side. We'll see how that goes.
Very cool. So why don't you describe your Cloak of Shadows? Because we will say it is 100% dark enough for it to work.
Perfect. Well,
why not?
Honestly, it's kind of a function of the glamours that he can generally do, like veils. It's just the thing he learned first was to take advantage of shadows. And now it's just kind of sort of an adaptive camouflage. He just kind of very much blends in with shadow, and his skin will get lighter in lighter spots and darker places. So he kind of predators, sort of, more or less. And he still just generally tries to be sneaky, get low, stay in the shadows, be quiet kind of thing. So the result on that was a +1 on the roll with a great skill is a 5, which is a superb result on being sneaky.
A superb result of being sneaky. Furthermore, as Cloak of Shadows, you can also see in the dark. So you're no longer penalized. You're not penalized for being in the dark, which it is dark right now. There's no lights on. And as you kind of like almost melt into the shadows and it kind of embraces you a little bit, almost bordering on invisibility, you see a couple things. This appears to be a secondary receiving room. There is a door that goes outside off a little ways. That door appears to be the door on your side is a steel door. Whether or not it looks like a steel door on the outside is probably not the case, but it's a steel door on this side. And as you look behind you, you notice the store you have just entered through is also reinforced. It's not steel, but it's reinforced. And as you kind of move into this room, you notice that there are like coat racks and essentially this very fancy foyer. And immediately to your left is a stairway heading down. What you see very faintly at the bottom of the stairs, some kind of light that is shimmering downstairs as if there are lights on downstairs. And I will say, with your alertness at a 3, I believe, you very faintly hear the murmury like voices of people talking, but you have no idea what they're saying. Like you just like occasionally catch like a
could be the TV on, don't know.
Yeah, something.
Gotcha. Yay. Well, the smart thing to do would be to leave, but I'm not going to do that because that's not what a puka cat burglar does. I'm just gonna go down the hallway, see what I can see sneakily as possible.
So you're becoming a puka cat burglar?
I am going to be a puka cat burglar and see what I can see. There's more stuff here to steal.
Okay. So you start creeping down the stairs. Your stealth score will. You are 1 with the shadows. You are superb. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure that's what I thought. Okay.
Where Cole's going to get himself in trouble is this works really great against normal people.
All right. So you're superb. All right. So you're creeping down the stairs, and these stairs are not restored Italian 19th century stairs. These are very strong concrete stairs that leads directly down.
Oh, I thought you were going to say these are 19th century unrestored creaky as.
Nope. Unfortunately, they made these concrete and not wood.
Concrete is better as far as sneaking goes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'd think that. And you creep down, and as you get closer and closer to the landing of the stairs down there, you start to hear more voices. You hear a smattering of voices, but they're speaking in a language you do not understand. I can say this. You can interpret that someone is yelling at someone else. And that's probably why you were able to hear the voices all the way upstairs, is that someone is essentially being, what it sounds like, being chewed out. And you don't really need to speak a language to understand when someone is getting ripped a new one by their boss or their superior or their family figure. Like that transcends language barriers. You can tell,
absolutely.
and like you can't see any body language, but you can definitely like just tell in like the anger level as someone is pissed, and you can hear someone answer back, and so someone is pissed at someone else, and so you kind of get down to the landing. Where is Cole stopping? I don't want to drive Cole. Where's Cole?
I want to get just to where I could maybe peek around the corner and ready to run back up the stairs. I'm at Cole's basically about at his limit. Especially since he knows that the guy on these folks can run faster than he can.
That they can. So, cut to Nikki. You watch two nondescript, sort of big humanoid people walk in the front door. And I say all this purposefully. Your alertness is pretty high.
Yep.
And you look at them and their facial features and their like humanity and their everything about them. You try to look at them and like your eyes like slide off being able, like you're like, wait, what do they look like? And then you look at them again and your eyes kind of like slide off to the side and you're like, wait, what? And you keep trying to do it and you can't tell what these people look like.
Would I know who they are then, since I'm pretty familiar with the goings around here, or would I not know who they are?
You know that they are supernatural in origin. I would say you don't know that they are Yara.
Okay.
Because they don't have. You literally are having a hard time seeing them. You can see humanoid shapes, but you can't focus on them. Like every time you focus on them, try to anyways, your eyes slide to the left or right, and there's nothing there. It's weird. I would say that this is probably one of the stronger veils / glamours you've ever encountered in your life. Because for the most part, the things you fight are usually use pretty sloppy veils and glamours.
Yeah.
They just kind of like get by. This is very purposefully the night bus and Harry Potter, like everyone just ignores them. And it's meant to be that level of veil and glamour. Like they could walk down a crowded street and no one would ever know that they were there. That is the level. And the only reason you are able to focus on them, and the only reason the wizards were able to focus on them, is because all of you are not human. And if you feel like if you were human, like Andy didn't even know they were there. Andy had no idea anything was happening because his alertness was not high enough. So your alertness is letting you like glance at them, but it won't let it stick.
So would I by glancing, would I be able to discern any identifiable uniform? So like, would I be able to? Okay, so they're not wearing anything that would be Yara affiliated. I wouldn't be able to recognize them as Yara.
No,
okay.
You think maybe they're wearing suits? Question mark? Because like your eyes just can't. Details are just not working. You can't gather details. It's probably very off-putting for Nikki because she is so observant and she likes to know things, and these people are repelling your ability to know things about them.
Mm-hmm.
Their veil, their glamour is just that strong.
Okay, so
Yay!
This is great. Frustrated, she doesn't follow them, but she just kind of lags behind them just to see where they're going.
Okay. You notice that as they walk in, the door opens, and the woman looks up and goes to say, and looks away from the door, and the door closes, and they walk around the person who was the tour guide. Like, she went to welcome them and greet them, and then she looked at them and kind of went,
yeah.
Oh, what was I doing? And went back to whatever she was doing. So these people just walked around the humans in the room without. So the fact that you are still noticing them again, your alertness is so high that despite not being able to recognize any details about them, you are even able to track them is slightly miraculous because you have a superb alertness.
Nice.
So yes, you are able to follow them. And it looks like they're headed towards the kitchen.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Perfect.
Would you have told me that's where you're headed, Cole?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just so that way I know Nikki knows.
Yep.
So I'm like, shit. And I don't have a way to contact them outside really, because we decided that's how we're gonna how we're playing it, which is always great. No backup. Shit. I don't want to gather get their attention because then they know that I'm not human either. I just kind of continue to walk behind them and then just kind of and see what they do.
Okay. So you walk up behind them and clear your throat.
Mm-hmm.
The one keeps walking for a few steps, and one of the other ones stops. And the figure turns and kind of faces you, and you can tell that they kind of tilt their head to the side as they look at you. And you watch as this weird shimmer happens, and now you see a Svart elf standing before you. I was not aware that the Andersons were called.
What's this about exactly? We heard that some white courts were here. So I'm just here investigating.
I am not sure that the Malvoras would appreciate an investigative presence on their property. And the one turns back to the other figure that is still kind of vague, and you hear Svart elf, which you don't speak, and it's very rapid and it vaguely Norwegian sounding, but not quite. And you hear a very rapid back and forth.
Finnish black metal.
Yeah, kind of. And then the one turns back to you that you can kind of still distinguish features of. And they kind of look at you seriously and say, this is most irregular. While there is no mention in the treaty whether or not you can or cannot do this, we advise that you cease any investigative presence on this property. The Malvoras here would most likely take it as an affront to their sovereignty.
Okay, and then
if they think that's an affront, wait till they get a load of me.
And then you hear the same Svart elf talking that you can't see, and the one cocks his head to the side and then looks at you and says, "You are Nicole Anderson."
Yes.
Most irregular.
In my head, I just shit in my head.
Exactly what her family calls her.
I am afraid you will have to come with us. We must make sure that the Malvoras know that you are not here with our blessing.
But I'm just here for the tour.
He looks at you very distinguishingly. You have to roll a deception check.
Yep.
This is that thing Nikki's super good at, right?
Oh yeah, it's the thing that Nikki's super great at. Because I didn't even think about deception as a thing. Okay. So that's a that's a 1. And I don't think I can really use anything here. Nothing that makes sense. Nope. Nothing that makes sense. Maybe future alpha, but that doesn't really make sense either.
Well, you could so you could spin it where you could say the future alpha to re-roll and change your lie a little bit, like, well, I'm here to make sure nothing's threatening my pack, whereas you kind of give ground on one end and change the lie, because you didn't come here alone and you didn't come here, so it's not, you're still lying, but it's a different lie.
Sure. Okay, I'll spend a fate point to do that.
So go ahead and roll. So you can either re-roll or add a +2 to what you just rolled. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll.
Okay.
That's a 0. No, that's a 0.
It got lower. Bummer.
Yeah, 3 3s and a 4.
Bummer. Okay.
Shit happens.
So, yep. So he looks at you as you try to like couch it and no, you must definitely come with us, and he reaches out to grab you.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna try not to piss off these fart elves, because I know that they get. I know, as Selena and also Nikki probably knows, that like, hey, you don't want to piss off Smart Elves because they hold a grudge.
That they do. So the Smart Elf grabs you by the wrist, and just like, please come with us and do not resist. And he turns and he starts walking, still maintaining his Fart Elf guise. He has not put up his glamour back, but the other one still has his glamour up. Cole, what are you doing? You do not know they're coming.
Oh, no, absolutely doesn't. Well, okay. If somebody's chewing somebody out, chances are pretty good the person on the receiving end is the one I know, which means there's somebody else who's bigger and badder. I don't think I want a lot of that. I think I may go back to the foyer where you said there were some coats on the rack and things. I'm going to see if there's some keys or anything like that, and I'm gonna be a burglar for a second and see if there's some stuff in them coats that I can steal.
Okay.
And when the door opens, I'm gonna find a place to hide.
So you head back upstairs.
Yep.
And sure enough, there are some coats. Why don't you roll me an investigation to see if you find anything, real quick.
Would burglary give me a +1 on this as a secondary skill?
I will say as a secondary skill, yes, you can use.
Since I'm specifically looking for things to steal.
Yes, you are specifically looking for stealing things.
Well, cool. That would make it a 3 then, because I have a 1 in investigation, +1 for that, and I rolled a +1 as well. So
that's a pretty good roll. It turns out that there's a few things. You can find a few dollars and things. No, you didn't go downstairs, so I won't let you have that.
Oh well.
You do find one of the White Court vampire's wallets is in the pocket, and you open it, and it says Morgan Smith. But you obviously know that his last name is Malvora. But it's the dude that Andy and Harmony described to you.
Oh,
You know
perfect.
You know his
Definitely
name
not
is
a fake name
Morgan.
at all.
I'll absolutely steal his wallet.
And as you're kind of like rifling through the coats, one of the coats, as you're rifling through them, you get to also marvel at how nice they are. Morgan's is pretty meh. There's another coat that's okay. There is a suit overcoat that is very nice, very high quality. There is nothing inside of it.
Oh,
Like
sure.
no lint, nothing. Like it is empty. And about that moment, you're like, "What the hell?" You hear the door open behind you.
Haha. Okay.
You are still under the effects of your shadow cloak because it lasts a while, and so you are technically still hidden at your superb stealth. So let's see what happens.
Oh, geez.
Oh no, that's not a good sign.
Man. Oh man. Cole, you see one figure walk into the room hauling Nikki. You momentarily see a second figure, but they kind of pass out of your vision, and you're like, "Oh, what?" And they walk downstairs, seemingly not having noticed you.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
By
Oh,
one. They rolled a good alertness, and you had a superb stealth.
Man, oh man. I was ready
I'm
to.
like very gently like snapping or knocking or something just to know for Cole to know, or not.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
not Cole, but yeah.
No,
So-
yeah, you see Cole actually, because your alertness, your passive alertness,
Your is
enough,
superb.
is superb. So you see him, and he's like, and the smart elves just walk right past him, and he's like, and you just go right past, like right downstairs. And the door is left open, by the way. It is not closed.
Yeah, I basically like kind of like as discreetly as I possibly can, like try to gesture for him to leave, so that way people can come get me if I need to be get. If I can try to do something like that, I would really appreciate it.
I will say the smart elf seemingly is not paying you any attention and is just dragging you, and so you can just be like do that and just kind of like keep being led.
Okay, that's what I do.
All right, so we're saying the smart play is for me to go get help, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's a smart play. We'll see what actually happens.
Adam?
So I think which one are you thinking? Looking for
Friends are an anchor.
Friends are an anchor. Yeah, that's the one I was looking at. Yeah, you gotta want to make sure that your friend's okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure my friend's okay. I will follow quietly down the hall after them.
Meanwhile, cutting to the car. Fuck, what do we do now?
Yara's inside.
Yara has gone inside.
How long has it been since Yara's gone in?
Probably like 5 minutes. So they just got here. Like that because all of these things are kind of like synchronicity. So they've only been in like 5 minutes.
Andy, you can do a veil, right?
I can. It's not gonna be great, but I can.
I mean, would it be enough to like go look in their van?
Maybe.
Oh man, I didn't think about that, man. To steal one of them cars.
Well, you're not here, Carthy.
I know. I'm just saying.
So a couple things before Team Wizard does something wizard. You know that they got out of the back seats of the car. So there is at least a driver still inside that car.
Okay, fair.
You wizards and the investigative Percy are smart enough to know that no one got out of the front of the car. So that there is at least one person still here.
Important information.
So I don't like to have my players be screwed over by making mistakes like that. So
one day.
Just
One
so you
day,
know.
I'm writing that down as a goal. Is this joyride one of this Fartel's vans?
Question for Adam.
Come on, please do what I think you're gonna do.
I don't know if it's what you're thinking. How tethered to me would a ghost be, or how can they maybe say
exactly like
follow people in and then come get me when they're in trouble?
Oh man, I knew this was coming. So, if you wanted to invoke Haunted by Your Past, I would say you could definitely have Manny go away from you and send them on a mission.
Quickest fate point I've spent.
So, where do you want Manny to be?
I will use the fate point to retroactively have had Manny go in with them and come back if something goes wrong, because the signal of Cole will jump out of a window did not sit well with Percy.
That makes sense. And I will
Fair
also
enough, it didn't sit well with me.
I will also say this, because you're decently familiar with how ghosts work in general, like especially Manny, that thresholds are a problem for Manny, and that you have to get him invited in places that are a home. And maybe you don't go to very many homes because you feel weird having people invite Manny in. So maybe you don't actually go to very many people's homes. You know that this mansion will absolutely not count as a home and will have no threshold. So it won't be a problem for Manny because it is a public building. Whether or not there is a threshold somewhere else, maybe inside of the building, if there's this hidden room or hidden house that they're looking for, that could be a different problem. But as far as like your lore in the Dresden verse and bringing it up to speed, you Percy and you Nick would know that this is something that Manny can actually do as well, because there's no threshold here. There's no house. So yeah, Manny has been following the crew perfectly. Yeah. And so he follows he like walking right next to Cole, and Cole can't see him, but he's like, oh no.
I'll be right back.
That's fair.
So we'll let Team Wizard think a little bit longer. And as Nikki is brought down the stairs, you now hear people yelling in a language that you have never heard before. And as you get to the bottom of the stairs, the Svart elves are not walking down the stairs quietly. They're walking down the stairs like dum, 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 like they're tromping down the stairs. And as you get to the landing, you see that the stairs actually continue down a little bit further. So that had Cole continued, there would have been a little bit more stairs. And it comes down into like an open room that looks kind of like a cross between a living room and kind of a billiards room. So there's actually a billiards table and some couches set out. There's actually a wet bar far in the back. And through an open door, which you can see, is another room that's open currently. And you see inside of it this Morgan character that has been described to you. And you also see someone very, very, very familiar. You see, I need to look up, Tom Welker of the News yelling at Morgan, this Morgan Smith character, in a language you have never heard before. And as you all tromp down into the front room, you see a smattering of what look to be humans. They all kind of look up. And as they look up, the lead Svart Elf's form returns to being Svart Elfian. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. And essentially stands there and looks at one of the goons, will have you, and says, "We are here to talk to your master. Please fetch him." And the goon kind of like, "Who the heck?" And like one of the other goons like, "Nope, no, go get Tom." Like go get Mr. Belvora.
I'm just cringing this whole time. I'm just like, oh god.
And the goon kind of gets up and like walks over and kind of like knocks on the door, and you see silvery eyes snap to the goon and kind of like glare, and the guy like stumbles back and grabs his head, and then Thomas Welker says, "And if I ever find out you're doing something like this again, I will kill you myself." And he moves out of the room and into the room you are in. And that is where we will go to break, because it's about halfway. Let's give us a good chance to get some drinks and breaks and things like that. Before we go to break, I want to remind everyone listening at home that it is Subtober. Subs are half off, and it is a perfect time to sub to your favorite channel. Hopefully that's Variant Rolls, but if it's not, you should sub everywhere and anywhere that you can. We would appreciate your patronage. But please join us. We'll be right back. Maybe 5-10 minute break, get some more drinks in us, and we will see what happens in the basement. And we're back from break. Yay! We're playing Dresden Files RPG in Portland, in case you're just joining us. And we are currently in the middle of some shenanigans. So let's cut to a bunch of wizards and an investigator sitting in a car, thinking about maybe making a veil, maybe not. What y'all doing?
So there's a driver, but I don't like that Yar is here and we haven't heard anything from Nikki or Cole.
They wouldn't have any reason to not like they would have no reason to be against them. Like, they shouldn't be in any danger at all in there.
And
they were just supposed to be scoping out, right?
I mean,
they were, but just the timing seems so. And I'm not really super confident in Yara's motives.
You think
so I'm not.
Think we should go in?
Maybe. I mean, if the driver wouldn't have any reason to stop us from going in if we went in, but that could cause its own problems depending on who's inside. But hey, one of my aspects is the right place, wrong time. So screw it, right?
I was just gonna say. I was actually gonna say Andy Wells does not like red tape.
That's true too. Like, he doesn't, and that's directly tied to Yara. Yeah. I don't like this.
Doop. You get a faint point, sir.
Hooray!
Now you have been compelled to get involved.
Yep. Okay. I think we should go in. This is weird. I'm not sure that we can't be. Yara are mercenaries. We can't be certain that they're not. That these guys aren't compromised somehow.
All right. If Yara is as bad as you say they are, then I'm gonna let you two go ahead. I've set something up that maybe I can get in motion here that might help us out. At least get some people out of there. So
you want to stay in the car alone?
No, I'll come with you in, but you guys go ahead. I need to make a phone call.
Okay.
Please leave me alone so that I can use technology.
Andy will get out of the car.
Yeah, Harmony's right behind.
Okay.
Percy's gonna walk in like 4 minutes later.
Okay.
Nice.
Harmony's gonna like pull her hat down like a little bit more like over her face.
Andy's just strolling along with his hands in his pockets. He's got like a sweater vest on over like shirt and tie.
Okay.
And he just walks towards the front door like he's going to go take a tour of the museum or something.
You both walk
Like
towards the
you
front
do.
door. Nothing happens from the car.
Okay.
You walk in, the door opens, and you see the same woman, black hair, nice business kind of attire. She said, good morning. How may I help you?
Good morning. Friend of mine said to meet her here.
The young lady that tripped,
It sounds like her.
she kind of looks around and, I don't see her.
Could I pay the ticket fee and then look around to see if she's here?
Well, you know what? Why don't you see if you can find her, and then if she's not here, maybe that way you don't have to pay. She should be downstairs somewhere, and like the woman generally looks like, what the hell? Like she was just here.
Okay.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you. I'm with him.
Okay. Sure. But please don't wander too far. The house isn't that big, so.
I won't touch
Oh,
it.
no.
A few moments. Okay. She seems willing to let you all through.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Percy, what are you doing?
So a few minutes later, Percy walks in. She's not like a greeter. Right, or is she like at the front door greeting people?
She's kind of like the person who's seemingly running the desk and is the tour guide. As mentioned previously, it's almost like they're short-staffed or something. Like there's some weird reason why only one person is working the floor right now, and no one else is here, but they're not closed.
Okay. So he walks right up to her and goes, "I need to use your phone."
I'm sorry, sir. The only phone is in the security room.
Okay, can you take me there?
Can I ask what the emergency is?
Oh yeah, my car broke down. And he points to the black not SUV in the front.
And she kind of looks at it and blinks for a second and says, "Sir, there's no car there."
They towed it? I definitely need to use your phone, and then I'm going to need to use it again to call my lawyer.
Oh,
You towed my car?
I towed no car. There's no car.
The car was in front of your building, and now it's not there.
And she seems very like frazzled.
Poor woman.
Just a moment, please. And she walks into the security room to talk to someone who is clearly not. She's clearly not the boss.
Right.
A few moments pass.
Oh man!
One of the security guards comes out and is like, "Can I help you, sir?"
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes, but what?
Can I use your cell phone?
Be the problem.
You towed my car.
No car was towed from these premises.
All right. So can you go on record saying that?
I can.
What's your name?
My name is Carl.
I can't sue Carl. I need your full name.
Sir, are we gonna have a problem?
We are past having a problem. You towed my car. Please
Sir,
call the cops so I can bring them into this.
Sir, there's no car. There was no car parked that has been towed. The only car that is still there.
Listen.
He motions to the not SUVs.
Yeah.
That car is not yours. And he like gets a little like narrowed eyed at you, like you tried to play that car off as yours, and he knows better.
Listen, takes out frazzled phone from earlier. I obviously can't call.
Well, I don't know what car you think was towed, but there's been no car towed here.
Well, it's broken. Can I have your phone?
Sir, you can use the payphone.
Cool. Where's that?
And he motions to like the corner that's like down out and like around the corner. There's still a payphone there. Ow.
You want me to walk halfway down the block because you inconvenienced me. I want to speak to your manager.
Our manager is busy right now.
I'll wait.
Okay.
Leans against the wall.
Meanwhile,
I'm talking to the manager.
Nikki.
You are.
Nikki.
I tried.
You're talking to the manager. So you watch as the Thomas Welker from the 6 o'clock news comes striding out of the back room into the front room. He looks a little bit different than he does on camera. You know, makeup isn't on and his hair is a little frazzled, but he still has that winning jawline and that very piercing blue eyes. Just make you want to trust anything he says. And he walks straight up to the smart elves, not seemingly paying you any mind, and says, "Yes, what do you want?" And the smart elves both like, you can feel them tense. As per the accords, we are here to discuss the events of last night. And he says, "Yes, I have been talking with my subordinate, and he will never do such a thing again. I have no idea what he was doing." And like the smart elf like holds up his hand, and you can just see this white court vampire like seethe as he is silenced by this smart elf. "We are not here to place blame or ask for excuses. You violated the accords. You know what is due." And you see Thomas like look back in the back room, and you kind of see that Morgan character like kick his feet. Yes, I know it is due. You can pick up your weregild tomorrow. I am having funds transferred. No, it must be done today. You know the law. Very well. I will see if we can have the process expedited. And you can just see, like, the temperature around him starts dropping as he starts getting a little angry. And you can tell that he's vamping out a little bit, but he's not putting the whammy out anywhere because he knows better. He knows not to do that. But you can just see him seething in place. And then, very fortuitously, the Sfar Elf says, and we also found this Anderson on your property. We hoped you would be made aware of it and know that we do not sanction her activities inside of your domain. And then his eyes snap to you and says, Anderson, why is a dog in my home?
Well, it actually pertains to your breaking of the Accords.
Damn.
Okay. So you say that. Huh. The one Sfar Elf. Wow.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie.
No. No, but you just accused Thomas Welker / Thomas Malvora of breaking the Accords. So Thomas, snaps and says, how dare you spread lies? And one of the Sfar Elves steps in front of you. Says, there will be no violence. That is foreboding. And then he looks down at you and says, child, you must speak correctly. Are you accusing Lord Malvora of breaking the Accords?
No, one of his kin.
Very well. And then the Sfar Elf looks up to Lord Malvora and he's very well. And again, you could just see this seething anger just like boiling off of him. And you know this how?
Out of character, remind me where we were last episode.
So you were basically in Parkside at just a random house that is just a throwaway house. Like it had no significance as far as you were aware. It was a 2-bedroom house that was just
okay.
But you were in Parkside.
I'm trying to choose my words wisely. That's why I'm Okay. We were investigating a house that had some interesting items in it. It seemed to have cold iron cages in it, and we saw Morgan fleeing from this home. So that's what I was investigating, and that's why I came here.
So we'll say you don't actually know his name's Morgan, but you'll say
right.
we saw a White Court vampire flee.
Yeah.
Or you can say that White Court vampire
exactly.
that's in the other.
And then you'd be like, that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And Thomas looks at you and steps back and motions to the person in the back room. And this Sfar Elf nods and pulls from nowhere this giant blade and just starts walking into the back room. And you hear a, no, what? You can't do this! And you all of a sudden, Morgan freezes in place and is like, he's trying to run away. And this Sfar Elf just goes, cuts off his head. And it just, dum, 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 dum. And then the blade goes back and like into nowhere. And this Sfar Elf turns around and says, "You're weregild in an hour," and walks up the stairs and out.
I follow him so I don't get attacked.
The Sfar Elf holding on to you says, "We will escort the witness Anderson away from here. Should we learn of any reprisals from your kin, we will be back." and they escort you back upstairs. I'm assuming, Cole, at this point, you're running back up the stairs because you see them coming.
I guess.
So, right about this time, all of you collide in the kitchen area where Andy and Harmony are walking in looking for Nikki. Nikki, you come upstairs. You see a Svart elf come around the corner, Harmony and Andy, and then the veil glamour comes up, and you have a hard time looking at him, and they just walk right past you, and saying nothing to you. And then you see Nikki with a Svart elf leading her up the stairs, and you see Nikki's maybe looking a little pale, and a little holy crap. And the Svart elf says, Miss Anderson, I suggest you leave.
Agreed.
And he looks up at all of you and take your friends with you. And his glamour comes back on and he walks out.
And I do this, kind of the arms around everybody's shoulders and be like, we're going now.
Where's Cole?
That's kind of closing the door behind everyone. It's like, okay.
Are you okay?
Right?
I will be. Let's go. Let's go see Uncle Garg. Let's go see Uncle Garg.
Okay.
So Percy, you watch as two unidentifiable figures walk past you outside. Neither the security guard who's watching you as you're waiting pays them any mind, and the woman does not pay them any mind. They just walk past you. You see them walk down the stairs, get into the car, and the car just drives away. And then eventually your gang starts moving through the house towards you.
I could stand here all day. Oh, wait, no, you know what? That wasn't my car. I'll see you later.
Nice.
And you all exit the house, able to reminisce and share what just happened downstairs.
I relay everything I heard.
Yeah.
Can I recommend a fate point for Nikki for Cry Wolf?
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Because that was well done. Yeah, I'm totally telling on you guys.
That was, yeah.
Even if it's information that you already knew, you have corroborated evidence. Jeez, words.
Well, you weren't sure what they were going to do with the information and how they were going to handle it, but you forced the Svart elf's hands.
Yep.
You were a identifiable local witness. Mm-hmm. You were an Anderson, and you identified the perpetrator and said he had cold iron cages and he was doing something wonky and caused that disturbance. That's the Svart elf justice system.
Caused that disturbance.
We still don't know what it was.
Nope.
Yeah.
They broke the peace
though. Okay. Well, this is good and bad.
I can't drive up there. Somebody else has to. I need to. That was too much. Somebody else has to drive.
I'll take
That's fine.
All right, you take it. You're good with that.
Well, I mean, if we're going to see Wildfay, I'm kind of curious to meet this guy.
So
also,
who's going to see the Wildfay?
Who do you want to come with you?
Well, you're all more than welcome. I don't know how many guests he'll want to see.
I also say maybe we take a breather and that Morgan fella can buy us lunch on his credit card before they cancel him.
Oh, Cole.
Yeah, we'll say you guys buy lunch with Morgan's credit card before on the way, because you guys have to drive a distance.
Yeah, we're driving far.
Uncle Garg.
Tank of gas and get candy like you're 6 years old. Let's go.
They don't make the candy that they had when I was 6.
Oh, again with the age. Again with the age.
Listen.
Actually, there are probably. Oh no! Don't type that. Stop. Sorry, I searched the wrong word. There are probably old-timey candy stores in Portland, and you were actually happy about this. because it's super touristy to have old timey candy.
Right. That's fair. Okay, but we have to go to this place.
Yeah. It's the only place that has the candy.
Yeah. They still make candy the right way.
All right. Awesome. So you all drive north past Sebago Lake into the hinterlands of the Baxter State Park / Allagash Wilderness Waterway. It's quite a drive. You basically have to drive almost to Bangor or Bangor, as they say in Maine, and then kind of like turn north straight up. So you're basically going to the county of Maine, and you know that near Katahdin, actually, and that area is where you can get a hold of Garg. That's where his tribe lives. The big tribes live in the Allagash Waterway Wilderness area, and that's where the throne of the crossover spot to where the Earl King's castle is over there. But you know that Uncle Garg lives in the different forest. His territory is slightly south because he is one of the vanguard of the Goblin tribes. And so you all head north. It takes you several hours to get there. It's probably getting towards nightfall, sunset when you're starting to pull up to the area that you know to kind of go out. And you do your normal ritual to contact Uncle Garg. What is that normal ritual?
We probably have a special tree that we go to, that we then. I don't want to mess up a tree because that's not the Feywild way.
Is there
I don't
food
know.
he likes?
Yeah.
And we have to stop.
I bring him a steak.
Okay. So you go to the particular tree near Mount Katahdin area, and you hang a stake on a tree limb, and you all watch this as your friend gets out, pulls out this nice sirloin, wraps this a twine around it, and ties it to a tree. And you're kind of okay.
It's Feywild thing.
Yeah.
My folks like gifts.
And raw steak?
You're all kind of and as you see,
he's a goblin.
Everybody likes different stuff, man. There's a puka back home that really likes Chick-fil-A, but
I haven't done much face summoning, so
as you're all kind of talking for a second, you blink and you look back and the steak's gone.
Well, that was
and then kind of up in a different tree, on a branch, not
hey,
bad.
Garg.
Not bad.
I tried.
Hello, little one. You've brought meals?
Not meals per se. Allies?
Allies are less fun, but okay. And he hops out of the tree, and you see this huge creature that is just super compact, very angular, lantern almost jaw, bat-like ears, and beady eyes, dressed in silvery plate mail, with this sword strapped to his back, with a bow slung across normal other shoulder, and he just kind of gives you all a look, and he kind of stops at Cole, narrows his eyes.
He's okay.
Mm.
I know.
Summer, winter, ugh. Little one, I thought I told you better than to associate with their kind.
Hey, man, no arguments.
He's an unwilling changeling.
No accounting for birth, I suppose.
Hey, my mom's fine. You leave her out of this.
So, little one, what have you brought me? Why are you here?
Well, information mostly. We found out that I forgot the name of the creatures that we were talking about just a minute ago. Malks, sorry. Some malks were being transported in iron. And we thought, we wanted to pass this information on to everybody on your side. So that way you know that some weird stuff's going on.
What manner of vile beasts would use the bane?
Vampires?
It was some white quartz.
He blinks like a bunch because like you just told him that 1 + 1 = green, and he's like trying to like process this. Like what? No, what? It's not happening in his. Why would the vampires declare war on fairy? That seems rather stupid.
It didn't seem
Agreed.
to be all of them.
No, it was somebody working for someone else and not their master.
Vampires, the games are boring. Not a good hunt. All this shadow games. Like summer.
We just wanted to pass this information along and find out what maybe you knew about any of it. We don't know any further information besides the person who did it is now dead.
I was going to say, he's got a point. Morgan wouldn't have been able to pull this off on his own.
Somebody was definitely telling him what to do.
Well, what if he wasn't working for his boss, though?
Nope, he wasn't.
No, his boss didn't know what was going on.
Nope, his boss had no idea.
So then who could compel a white court vampire to kidnap
Malks?
Or help.
Who are not slouches on their own, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
Malks are a good fight. They are a little gamey when you eat them, but they are...
Andy pales a little bit.
They are a good hunt. They know the way of prey and predator. I have fought many a Malk in my day, and he like reaches underneath his breastplate and kind of like pulls it across. And you see this like the start of this wicked looking scar. Like one almost got guard, but almost does not count.
Only in horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I do not know these horseshoes. I know horses. They also taste great. Neither do I know hand grenades.
It's a game. Horseshoes is a game. Hand grenades is not a game.
Horseshoes is also play with an iron horseshoe, which you would not like to play.
Right, well, there are the plastic ones. Yeah. There's the kitty ones.
Yeah, he wouldn't try to teach him like how to play with metal.
Oh, games. I am not a fan of games. I am a fan of hunting and eating. I like the eating. Did you bring more steak, little one?
Of course.
Excellent.
Let's assume so.
Yeah.
You would know to bring lots. That's fair.
Haven't. I will pass along your troubling information to my lord.
Flip it around. Question.
True king.
Who would use a vampire to catch Malks? Maybe the vampire is a cat's paw in all this.
This sounds like silly game.
Summer. I mean, they were Winter Fae.
It is possible. They do not like each other at all.
Nope.
Less than I like them even, which is impressive. I hate them.
It sounds
pretty easy to hate.
I hate to say this. It sounds like it might be worth trying to talk to Lord Melvora. To see what, probably not you, Nikki.
Yeah, you can go do that. You can try. I would definitely not do it at the mansion, maybe at the
Yeah, this isn't my
studio?
first rodeo with
You know
that
who'd
kind of
be
thing.
good. You know who'd be good at this? Maybe Kasara.
No.
Later.
No.
I think that would be a terrible
I'll talk
idea.
to him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you do that.
I'll talk
Send a
to him.
vampire to
happen.
talk to a vampire.
I'm fine with talking to him, or we could go
She-
together, Percy, but I think it's worth talking to him to see what he knows if he truly is ignorant, because he's not going to want this to continue to happen and fall on his head.
Correct.
If we pitch it like we're trying to help him.
We could just actually try and help him.
Yeah.
That's
You're more than
true.
welcome to try. I don't know what else I can do on my end right now.
I do not like this talk of help. It sounds less hunting and more not hunting.
It is more, we're kind of not hunting in order to hunt. Later.
That is correct.
There will be a hunt eventually because someone is doing something bad, and they'll need to be hunted.
Well, I will like that part then. Everything else seems like a waste of time.
We got
I
to
toss
figure
him
out
another
who to
steak while
hunt.
we discuss, so that way he's not bored.
Got to
Just
figure
like-
out who to hunt.
It
Right.
disappears very fast. Like Uncle Garg is not a slouch when it comes to eating.
Yeah.
We're picking up the trail right now.
Yes.
Yes, that is an important part of the hunt, is knowing who to hunt. So I suppose maybe you're not wasting time after all.
It's just the boring part.
Yes, but if it's done well, it is exciting. He gets this
At least
weird
different.
look in his eyes.
You haven't heard about any mulks in the area, have you?
I have not seen a Mulk for some time. They tend to be too aggressive for the peace that surrounds this state and your city of Landport. They are violent like Uncle Gog. They like to revel in violence and death. They tend not to cross over very often here, by order of their queen. They do not like to upset the balance.
Which queen?
Map.
The Queen of Air and Darkness.
Oh, I was just confirming. I wasn't sure if it was.
There's only
Yes,
one
well-
Queen of Winter.
Mulks are of the winter, yes. So the Queen of Air and Darkness, yes.
Okay.
We're not going to talk to her about it.
Well, yeah, that doesn't seem like.
Let's
Garg,
put a
if-
pin in that.
Yeah, you should definitely try to talk to her right now, please. Please try to talk to Matt.
We just say her name 3 times, she
Well,
appears,
I
right?
mean, I was considering trying to, not for Mab, but I was considering trying to invoke my Earned Summer's Ire aspect to have like some kind of contact on the Winter Court. Not Mab. I would like to emphasize that again. But like someone
Agree.
who we could maybe get some additional information from, who's closer to the.
if you're invoking an aspect with a fate point, you absolutely have it, and tell me who it is.
Okay, cool.
I was just
And are you
thinking-
doing it right now, or are you gonna like, are you summoning this person?
No,
here?
I would do it later, so we can
Yeah.
deal with it later. But that is an
I mean,
idea that I had.
I was just thinking talking to a Winter.
If
Fae
she
would be
knows
good.
my ex-girlfriend, I'm all, well, no. That's entirely up to you.
I was gonna say Cole knows somebody who is also Winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
100% does not want to talk to.
And if you knew him too, that would be perfect. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's just great. When my friends know my ex and I don't know they know my ex, that's
Yeah, we can. So if that's not a scene we're gonna do tonight, then we can talk about that a little bit off air.
yeah.
The
But,
creatures, the malukes,
Malk.
Malks. If they were malnourished and then let out, would they be able to get home?
Garg thinks for a hefty minute. Monks are capable warriors, and they should be able to cross without much difficulty. They might, their baser instincts might cause them to feast before, but I do not starve, so I have a hard time knowing what starving feels like.
You don't look like one who does.
And he gives you this smile, and all of his teeth are razor sharp shark-like teeth. So it like is like this, like as if a great white shark is grinning at you.
Like rows and rows, and yes,
rows and rows of teeth.
Nice.
You eat many mighty meals.
I do.
Yeah.
Mortals are friends, not food. Mortals are friends, not food.
Today that is true.
Should I have mentioned that I have personal magnetism? It gives me a +2 presence for passive reactions to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is good to know.
That is good to know.
Yep.
If you have nothing further from Uncle Garg,
As far as I know, then I think that's it. Just letting him know, and then he can pass that on to the Earl King and anybody else who might find it pertinent.
So
NBD,
Uncle
just
Garg
the Earl King
welcomes you to camp in his domain for the night if you wish, since it's late, and he will ensure that nothing bothers you. You get the sense that by that he means he'll eat anything that tries to bother you, and he's looking forward to that happening.
That's very generous of you, Garg. Thank
Please
you for your hospitality.
Please let us be followed by vampires. That's
the night goes by uneventfully, and any stress you had, which you didn't have any, is gone. So where are we going the next day?
Can I pull Percy aside because he wanted to talk to me?
Absolutely. We can definitely do this as everyone's kind of like
Cole's gonna sleep in the car.
Yeah, I'll just like yoink Percy out of the little campground and be like, "Hey, I got your note. I feel like I'm in high school again. What do you want to talk about?"
I just didn't want to worry your friend, boss. I don't quite know the relationship. Friend. He seems pretty worried as is. So,
that's true. Yeah.
Generous.
I haven't really had much interaction with magic. And from what I understand and what I've been told by the people who came around and connected some of us together, what I do is magic as well, apparently.
Of a type. Yeah. That's true.
Why do I have this?
Oh, I don't really know how to answer that. I mean, from my own research, some of it is bloodline based. So it's possible that there were people farther back in your family who could do this.
Grandpa did talk to himself a lot. That would make some sense. So this is just genetic lottery? And not some divine intervention or meant to be?
I mean, Adam, just as a clarification, do I know enough lore-wise to know that like angels are real and like that's a thing?
Huh.
My lore is great.
Yeah, we didn't really say if we had any like holy avengers in Portland.
Yeah, you guys all kind of ignored faith as far as like that pool of resource, which is fine. It happens. Not every place is balanced.
Do I know that that's like a real power? Like what I know about like
Knights of the Cross.
The Knights of the Cross or the Denarians, or just generally that, there are demons, so there are also angels, and like,
you know what? Based on Carlos Ramirez's reaction to Michael and Dresden's reaction to Uriel, I'm gonna have to say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say that angels are they don't get involved. They're not allowed to get involved, really.
That's fair.
And so their presence as an entity of supernatural origin is it's not secret, it's just not known. And that the Knights of the Cross Dresden knows about them because his best friend is one of them. But like Carlos didn't know. And there were several wardens who did not know who Michael was or what he was like. What was like? Why is Michael like stepping into this? Like, what's going on? Who is this person? When Molly was on trial. Spoilers if anyone hasn't read any of the books. I'm sorry. It's been like 14 years. I'm sorry. So yeah, I would say that Angel. You know that faith is a power source, and that people with faith can do things. So a miracle that he said, like possible, but like angels and faith warriors, you're a little less.
That clarifies, because I wanted to know what I could reasonably tell.
Yep.
For future reference, does Andy know anything more, or is it also a question mark for him?
I would say you know about faith as a power source. You know faith, or like people who believe strongly enough can cause things to happen. You're again like probably like Dresden.
Yeah.
You're not sure how that works. Despite the fact that you believe in magic and that's why it works. So whether or not how Andy waffles on that faith line is up to you personally.
Sure.
But you would know that faith is a power source just like Harmony does. And I would say you probably, again, don't really know a lot about angels and the white god and all that stuff.
Got it.
So in that case, so when you ask that question, Percy, I'll say, I mean, faith is its own kind of power. So it's and magic comes from what you believe. So I suppose it's possible that if you wanted something strong enough and you had enough faith that it could be done, maybe that's why. But there's not really a solid answer for you, Percy. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't be sorry. It's been confusing. It's been a while, and I don't really deserve any of this. I don't deserve you all. I don't deserve Manny, and I'm just trying to make it so that I do someday.
No, don't say that. Everyone deserves someone.
And he's like kind of keeping tears back, and he just kind of like chokes out a thank you, and then he's gonna turn and if you let him walk away.
I mean, Harmony's like feeling real torn up too, but that isn't. I've only known you for like a couple of days, so
right.
Like, my level of like, should I go give you a hug? Is like really like.
And to give context, you saved his life.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you did save his life.
Like to him, you're a person, but you're also like, you might as well have been the angel in that scenario to him.
And you also know he tried to steal your ancient Sumerian tablet. So like that's
true. Yeah,
Percy isn't a good person, but he has feelings. That's where we're at right now.
Percy's kind of like your balance of like, what the hell? Like, he stole my tablet. I saved your life. Like, where the hell do you fall on the?
Yeah,
I should give a damn about you scale.
You seem like you're good-hearted-ish, but you did try to steal my tablet. So at this point, I think I would probably still let you walk away, because Harmony, in my mind, like, I don't see that the same way you do. For me, that was just, a white court vampire was going to eat somebody, and I'm not allowing that to happen. So I'll let you go, at least from now, but I am sort of, torn.
Expect hugs in future.
Yeah, potentially in the future there will be hugs.
All right. Anyone else have a scene before we transition?
Good.
So Uncle Garg, good to their word. You safely sleep all night long. I will say though, as Percy walks away, you don't hear anything until you hear like, it is good for warriors to bond with each other. It makes a stronger bond. And then like you hear a rustling and like someone leaving.
I'm just gonna go, thanks, Uncle Garg.
You do not get to call me that.
I cringed a little bit, like, oh no, did she just screw up and get eaten? Obviously, I don't think he would do that because he offered hospitality, but
yeah. So the night passes uneventfully. Uncle Garg bids you good day / bye-bye.
Yep.
He seems crestfallen that nothing tried to assault you in the night and didn't get to eat anything cool. But
I give him the last steak.
he gladly accepts it, and one moment he's standing there, and the next moment he's gone. He turns, and you blink a few seconds, and there's no Garg anymore. He's just gone.
Oh, yeah.
Dealing with the Fae is always strange.
You get used to it.
Sorry, Cole.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cole, tell me about it.
Let's say.
I wasn't trying to be insensitive.
Oh no,
It's a deep well.
As you're talking,
Oh boy.
Nikki,
Perfect.
Oh no, what?
you notice some shapes in the woods around you.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
I take it. What happened? Tell me what it is before I take this fate point.
Your alertness. Oh yes, you're alert. You can.
I know.
You think you can see very furry shapes in the woods around you, surrounding you. Almost like the black wolf of the pack might be in some trouble.
Andy's walking towards the car.
Guys, we got some trouble.
What?
I
now?
take it.
So as she says that, Andy, a wolf steps into the path in the car and and you see now all the way around you. You are surrounded by wolves.
I try to be as imposing as I can, but I'm also of very small stature. So
Do I recognize any of them from Nikki and I's ghoul excursion?
You don't.
Okay.
Specifically,
I do.
you don't.
I know who they are.
You
Gotcha.
know all of them, and you know all of them are not on your side.
So I shouldn't start the car and we run for it?
What's the play here?
And as you ask that question,
This needs to be a discussion.
you hear this booming voice that you know to be your father. I would not recommend that. And striding out of the forest,
Fair.
loose-fitting, traveler's clothes that are easily taken off, is a man. What does your father look like, Nikki?
He has just full black hair, piercing blue eyes, fairly tall, kind of lithe, muscular, because he is an alpha. Probably has some sort of tattoos. I haven't really thought about it that much, but some sort of kind of not exactly tribal tattoos, but kind of that idea.
Like runes or something?
Nordic.
Sure, why not?
I think
Nordic.
Nordic tattoos, right? Because you have
Yeah.
said that your family is from the Nordic area, and that you emigrated here.
Yeah.
And that's why you are natural werewolves rather than spell werewolves. Well, we've kind of jury-rigged.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably has some Nordic runes on his body somewhere.
Would this be the time for a presence roll for a passive reaction?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have a +2 to that.
Hate you, hate you, hate you. You're okay.
I have good presence as well. And Andy and I probably make a pretty imposing team.
I got a total of 6.
Ooh.
Woo!
So I will say this: you hear this booming voice, and kind of I would not do that if I were you. And stepping out is the man that Selena has described as Nikki's father, and he's got a bit of a Nordic accent, which I am not even try because
I was at that. I'm like, no, she doesn't have an accent. It's too far gone.
I will Marisha Ray, the Swedish chef, Nordic accent, and it will be terrible.
It's the only one I can do. So.
I don't want to do that, so we're just going to say he has a Nordic accent because I like the people from that area, and I don't want to offend any of them. And he looks at all of you and says, I was contacted by some rather unsavory types, and I had to listen as they yelled about my daughter invading their property. It did not make for a pleasant morning, Nicole.
Father, there was an attack on some. God damn it! I forgot the name of the creatures again.
Malks.
Malks that we were investigating because that's my job.
Kind of narrows his eyes at you and then looks and says, Mr. Wells.
What's your dad's name?
What did we decide his name?
His last name is Anderson, so you could, refer to him. Actually, you know that it is Anderson. It's actually pronounced more Nordic than
Anderson.
Because Ander was his father's name.
Right.
Mr. Anderson.
I know.
So I don't know if Mr. is the proper term of address for a pack leader or not.
You Mr. Anderson's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he would, Mr. Anderson.
I see my daughter knows how to keep some good company, and kind of gives Cole and Percy a weird look because never seen them before. And then his eyes immediately snap back to Nikki. Regardless of investigating, kind of like gives like a bad taste in his mouth because they hunt, they don't investigate. Is how you know your dad thinks. You that's kind of part of your kicking the pack is like you would rather investigate to see they just hunt monsters and kill monsters. You're like, no, we gotta make sure we're hunting monsters and killing monsters. You're saving Malks? That is what you're doing? Faye?
We did not save them. They were gone.
So you failed. You failed, and I had to talk to a White Court vampire who actually had a grievance.
Actually, we aided in killing a White Court vampire. So how about that?
Your daughter was instrumental in bringing justice and seeing it done for the breaking of the Accords.
Kind of like looked like he was going to say more, and then with Andy, you talking and your presence role kind of like is essentially acting like, so if you've ever been to a friend's house and you know that their mom or dad is pissed at them as hell, but you're there.
Right.
So mom and dad can't just lay into them like they want to, and they instead are very polite, but they talk with a very clipped manner that your friend like it's paler and paler and paler. We're like, oh no,
it's clear Nikki's in deep shit.
And then it's like, please stay over, please stay the night, don't leave me here alone, you can't leave. Like, that's kind of the dynamic you're getting going on right now, is that dad is PO'd. And eventually he relents. I do not ever want to get another call from that scum of a White Court vampire, Nicole. I don't care what you're doing.
Happen again.
Stop it.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes, Mr. Wells.
The disappearance of the Malks is a concern for me, and so it is something that I intend to continue to look into.
You are not my daughter.
You are correct.
I cannot control.
However, your daughter has a certain skill set that I lack. I would like to be able to call on her help. I will accept full responsibility for what happens. You should not need to deal with Lord Malvora yourself again.
He seems taken aback by that when you said you will take full responsibility, because that is a big word to throw around in the community. I have your word on that.
You have my word. These deeds will not fall on you or your clan. They will fall on me.
He kind of looks at Nicole for a second, narrows his eyes, looks at the rest of the ragtag bunch of other people who luckily doesn't include Kasara right now.
This is the perfect perfect time. This was the perfect time for the pack to show up.
Suddenly glad she's not here.
I am very glad she's at home, hopefully safe.
Very well. I will allow my daughter to assist you as an advisement, and I will inform Yara that any further transgressions are the fault of Anderson Wells.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Very well. A safe journey home. And he just kind of like turns and just walks off into the woods, and the wolves just slowly just draw in and like disappear.
I unclench my jaw. It's been like I've been like very
Grinding
much
your teeth.
rigid and like clenched fist, jaw. Like I'm just like I'm taking it like a brick wall. I'm not backing down from what I was doing. So yeah.
Nikki, are you okay? He asks only after all the wolves are gone.
They can still hear you. We're fine. I've dealt with this shit before. It'll be fine.
Man.
We're fine.
What are you doing, Percy? What are you doing, Percy? Looks like you're about to do something real good.
Man, I didn't know wolves bet knee to vampires.
Sorry, what?
I would like to take a compel on Haunted by My Past. I have some daddy issues. And seeing someone get treated like that, I say it loud enough that I know that the retreating werewolves will hear.
What did you? I missed what you said though.
I did not know that wolves bet knee to vampires.
Oh fudge! Oh fork!
Oh fudge! You hear like a twig snap, like on purpose.
Because it seems to me that the vampires broke the law, called and yelled at you for catching them. I would think wolves would be proud of this.
I'm like totally cringing right now. I'm just like, oh no, fuck.
You see the shoulders of her father turn slightly and says,
Thank you so much.
I am always
Percy.
proud to see a vampire be slayed, but I never wish to receive a call from them
Then don't pick up.
complaining about a trespass documented by Yara. Because Nikki was technically trespassing.
Right.
And he just keeps walking. He does not seem to rise to the bait. Lucky for all of you.
I punch Percy really hard, not like just not purposely hard, but it happens because of all of that emotion also. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happens exactly, but you get punched in the shoulder, and I just say, "What the hell was? No, you don't say that. You don't say that shit."
I would like to see what happens. Do you have like a fisty cuff type thing? Because I want to see if Percy just goes down for that.
I have fist and might, so
let's see what your fist roll is.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm perfectly okay with Percy's comeuppance on that just being knocked out immediately.
Okay.
Nikki hauls off and decks Percy.
Well, it's a punch in the shoulder. I purposely said shoulder. I'm not like gonna wallop him in the face.
Okay. Still.
Yeah. So.
Percy can still go down.
Yeah.
Spun to the ground, and
you are a werewolf. I am a human.
Yes. Okay. So fists. So that's a. Oh shit. Well, that's just a 2 then.
Oh well, I could eat that. So
yeah,
it's just
you only take 2 stress, so it hurts, but it's not the end of the world.
Not this time.
So with that, you are all able to pile into Cole/Percy's car, and
I run most of the way home.
You're just gonna whoop and go.
Yeah, I have a backpack. I just go because I need to run. I need to get some of this pent up energy out.
Okay, so
Okay.
Nikki says she throws her clothes in a backpack, throws the backpack in the car, and says, "I'll meet you there." And
On the drive back, I think Andy probably explains a bit more about what the Unseelie Accords are for Percy's benefit and how we were kind of not really, the great.
a point about that though. You know that you are actually not operating based on the Unseelie Accords. You're operating under the Yara Accords.
Oh, sorry.
He'll
explain what he knows of those.
Yeah, and that any trespass is grounds for essentially having to any kind of breaking of this rules, depending on how badly it is essentially money you pay to Yara, who then doles it out to the aggrieved party. So if the White Court pushes the problem, the werewolves would have had to pay the White Court money because Nikki was on their property.
I'll also explain what that means then, that Andy said it's on him from here on. About that means that I'm the one
promises, Mr. Wells.
I couldn't let Nikki just be in trouble.
By the way, Anderson cares too much.
Yeah, he does.
Sure does.
I've got to start spending these fate points. I have 6 now.
We're gonna have
shit's about
plenty
that.
of opportunity.
But so Andy would explain on the drive back what his particularly giving his word, what that means.
Yep.
In case Percy doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. And Percy's response is, I don't understand. We didn't know either one of them were White Court homes when we went in. How are we supposed to know if they're not identified?
Or I knew the museum was.
I didn't. It's reasonable that Nikki didn't.
But your knowledge of it that's not...
Right.
You don't need to know.
I claim everything then, and everyone's trespassing.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
It's not quite...
I don't see... He's purposely being obtuse, but he's also kind of trying to make the point of, you can't just not state what things are and then yell at people for going in them. It's kind of his point. But he's being, obnoxiously obtuse about it.
Right.
Kristen, I know you're new to this, but...
Ignorance isn't an excuse in the magical community, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Take it from me, assume the rules are there to screw you.
They kind of are.
Because they are.
They're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the magical world.
Yeah.
If you think vampires are fun like this, wait till you meet my folks.
Because that's a personal thing for Harmony.
Which, speaking of, I think stalking to Winter isn't a bad idea, considering the Malks are Winter, and
sure.
I know how you probably feel about that, Cole, but with the vampire lead we had dead, I mean, like I said, I could talk to Lord Malvora. I don't really want to.
How much is the payment usually for trespass?
It depends a lot on what happened and how aggrieved the party that you're trespassing against feels, and Yara's moderation, and that's a factor too.
Out of character to the GM, if an amount was thrown out and I pushed for specifically Nikki, I have a resources 3. Is this something that I could do?
You could conceivably pay that. It might take you a little while because they might request it be in gold coins. So that might take you a hot minute to be able to transfer your money into gold coins.
The vampires or the Svart elves?
The Svart elves.
Would vampires care?
The vampire. So if you tried to, you would also know that if you try to pay the vampires without paying the Svart elves, you would be also violating the treaty, because the Svart elves are supposed to handle the interactions in between the various organizations to keep people away from each other, and they get their cut. That's part of how they get their paid. They charge a supernatural tax, but they also take a cut of anything that they transaction.
They're mediators.
Okay.
Also, there isn't money that needs to be paid.
Correct. They did not.
So you're fine.
They did not actually accuse you of trespassing because you. Actually, that sends you a signal that they didn't actually accuse you of trespassing and charge your pack money, and it get the sense that your comeuppance hasn't come up yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely not going to be a problem later.
That's something else that Andy probably would have pointed out because, after Nikki had told him about, here's what happened, and Lord Malvora saw it, and Andy's response would have probably been, oh, no.
Yep.
So they don't want payment in money.
Not always. Not always dollars. It's more about making the other party suffer. So however that has to be.
Yeah. Think old world justice, kind of.
Yeah.
Eye for an eye sort of thing.
Yeah. With that, it is almost 11 o'clock. So that's a pretty good place to cut the stream for this evening. Thank you all who have been jumping in and out of chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you, anyone that watches on VOD. Hello, future people. I will let my ineffable players describe themselves and who they are, where you can find them. Starting with CJ. We'll go backwards.
Sure. Hi, I'm Cole Trickle. I'm played by CJ Hunter. Wait, no, I'm CJ Hunter. I play Cole Trickle. He, him pronouns. You can find me on the Twitters and Twitch at Commander Pulsar. And I do a few streams every once in a while doing this and other gaming type stuff. And I think this is my family's getting involved. This is going to be super fun.
All right, moving down to Selena.
Hi, I'm Selena. I play Nikki, the werewolf, if you can't tell. And I'm at ABCDFAR on the Twitters, and I'm just here, and this is what I do.
And then Nick.
Hello, I am Nick. You see him. I play Percy, the idiot investigator with a really disappointed ghost ex-boyfriend. I also do technology and other behind-the-scenes stuff for Roll for Change, which is a tabletop RPG charity stream group. We're going to be streaming in October to raise money for Geeks of Grandeur. So check that out.
Excellent. Up to Danielle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle. I'm at RyRacontour on Twitter and at Valiolata on Instagram and Twitch. And I play Harmony Ward, the, as I put it on Twitter recently, wizard linguist and accidental arsonist. And
Yep.
You can find me also on at Other Docs channel on Saturdays at 8 p.m. where I play Vormir Avanas on our game of Invisible Sun. You can also find me on Tuesdays on at Scraticus's channel where I am GM for The Choir of Elements, which is a 5e tier 3 level 12 characters adventure currently exploring through the elemental planes. So
damn. Tier 3. That's hard DM. That's hard to DM for. Last but certainly not least, Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach. I play Anderson Wells, the exceedingly more and more exasperated wizard dad of all of these disaster children. Andy and I both, yeah, Andy and I both use he, him pronouns. I'm at Sir Gorals on Twitter. This is the only stream I'm on. As Adam mentioned, it's still September, so please sub to us or some other channel that you love.
Gifts and bits.
I am Adam_J_Pearson on the tweeters, where I tweet about things. I DM this wonderful group of folks who are wonderful, and they just throw hilarious ideas at me, and I just use them to make them feel emotions. And we are here every Friday. We will be here next Friday, and Kasara will rejoin us and be able to learn what her conglomeration of funny people were able to get up to in their 2 to 3 days.
She's gonna exist.
We will be back next week. Tomorrow there's a bunch of streaming. I know Nox is streaming her indie romance showcase. No As the Sun Burns this week. They are technically in hiatus right now. They will be a 2-shot of Invisible Sun that I think Alex is DMing, but I don't know for sure because I forgot to check. But it's September, so sub where you can, if you can. If not, that's fine. Just watch us. We love you. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your weekend. And is it Friday yet?